Welcome to my channel, where we uncover the darkest true crime stories from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss these chilling cases. Now, imagine this. A man who lived among us. A father, a former cop, a local gym champ. A man people trusted. But behind that mask, a monster who claimed more than 100 lives. This is the untold story of Sergei Tkachenko, the Poltava Maniac. Sergei Fyodorovich Tkachenko was born on September 12, 1952 in the industrial town of Kiselyevsk, Russia. His father worked in a factory, his mother was a homemaker, and Sergei was the golden boy, intelligent, quiet, and polite. He was top of his class in math and science, always reading books about wild animals and jungle adventures. But even in childhood, the shadows were there. Neighbors whispered that he would vanish into the woods for hours, then return with an empty, frightening stare. An old woman later remembered how young Sergei talked about trapping animals, or something darker. Money was tight. His father lost his job, his mother worked odd tasks to survive, and Sergei learned how to hustle. By 10, he was selling newspapers, running stalls, and lying when it gave him profit. That habit of manipulation would never leave him. At 18, the Soviet army came calling. 2 years of service toughened him. Weapons, patrols, stealth training. Fellow soldiers recalled the glint in his eyes, always sharp, like a predator tracking prey. When he returned, he joined a police academy in Kemerovo and graduated in 1973 as a criminal investigator. On paper, life was perfect, a respected job, a wife, and 2 children. But in 1975, everything cracked. During a kidnapping murder case, Sergei planted evidence to close it quickly. He was caught. Resignation or prison? He chose resignation. His career as a policeman was over. For years, he drifted. Factory jobs, mining, farming. By the early 80s, he was restless. He moved to Ukraine, to the booming city of Dnipro. There, he remarried, had another child, and rebuilt his image. He worked again in law enforcement. He lifted weights and became a local strongman champion. His neighbors adored him. He seemed like the quiet, helpful man next door. Nobody suspected that behind the smile, the beast was waiting. His first known kill came in 1980 in Crimea, a teenage girl walking alone. He offered her a ride. Later, she was found assaulted and strangled, her body staged to look like a truck accident. From then on, the killings spread. Dnipro, Kharkiv, Zaporizhzhia, Crimea, one city after another. His victims were always young girls, usually between 8 and 18. He played the friendly uncle, offering candy, offering a ride, and offering shortcuts home. But once isolated, it was always the same. Assault, strangulation, 30 seconds of pressure until life slipped away. Sometimes even darker acts followed. But Tkachenko's most chilling trick was not just the murder, it was the cover-up. He used his police training to wipe fingerprints, erase traces, and stage crime scenes. He even framed others, planting clues, whispering suspicions. Innocent men were dragged into prison while the real killer walked free. In 1989, 9-year-old Olga Svetelkina vanished. Sergei framed her father, Vladimir. The man was sentenced to 11 years, and later, unable to live with the shame, he ended his own life. Others were caught in Sergei's web. Vitaly Cairo and Igor Ryzenkov, ordinary men whose lives were destroyed. In 2002, when 9-year-old Yana Popovich was killed, her cousin Yakov was blamed and sentenced to 15 years. In 2004, after the murder of 17-year-old Svetlana Starostenko, Maxim Dmitrenko was locked away. Tkachenko sat back and watched it all. For decades, he fooled everyone. But in August 2005, his downfall came. His final victim was Katya, just 9 years old, the daughter of a friend. At her funeral, children pointed at him. That's the man who took her. Panic spread. Police raided his house. Inside, they found his hidden trophies, jewelry, children's clothing, and even a grim scrapbook of memories. In interrogation, the mask fell. Sergei confessed openly. He bragged, claiming over 100 victims. He called himself a beast, not a man, and demanded the death penalty. DNA tests linked him to 37 murders and more than 80 assaults. His confessions matched old unsolved cases. And the men he had framed? Some were finally freed, but for others, it was too late. His trial began in December 2007 in Dnipro, closed to the public to protect the families from the horror of his crimes. He sat cold and emotionless, describing killings without regret. On December 23, 2008, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. He wanted the noose, but Ukraine had abolished the death penalty. His punishment was eternity behind bars. But even in prison, his story didn't end. In Zhytomyr prison number 8, he found a new life. A young admirer, barely 20, married him and bore his child during conjugal visits. She claims she would have helped him if she had known him earlier. Sergei even wrote crime stories from his cell, earning money. He appeared in Netflix's Inside the World's Toughest Prisons, smirking into the camera, as if proud of his notoriety. But the end finally came on November 4th, 2018. Sergei Tkachenko died of heart failure at the age of 66. No family came to claim his body. He was buried in a pauper's grave, forgotten by the world he once terrorized. Why did he do it? Psychologists say he was a pure psychopath. No empathy, no guilt, only thrill. At first, maybe revenge against women and failed marriages. Later, just the thrill of the hunt. His police training made him invisible and allowed him to fool authorities for 25 years. He lived two lives, the helpful neighbor and the merciless predator. And that's the scariest truth. Because if a man like Sergei Tkachenko could hide in plain sight for decades, who else could be living in the shadows right now? Thank you for watching. If this story froze your blood, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more chilling true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe and watch the shadows.